A common misconception in the automotive world, especially professional detailing, is that sandpaper is the most aggressive procedure, removes the most paint material compared to other defect removal procedures. So on this video, we're going to compare those different procedures and demonstrate the material removal for you. Stick around.
The world of paint correction and polishing is getting more complicated by the minute, and every week we receive hundreds of questions in comments on social media, on videos, and emails. We want to answer those questions. This is Rupes Replies.
All right, here we are with our hood for this demonstration. Now, we get these hoods from a local vocational technology school. There are high school and college age kids that paint hoods for us. So this is not going to represent OEM applied paint on cars, but we may actually have layers and layers of paint systems reapplied on these hoods. So the measurements are a little bit weird than what you might expect on some cars. But what it will effectively show us in this demonstration is the actual material removal with each of these three procedures. So we've already taped off 3 sections of this hood. We're going to jump right in and take our baseline measurements at this time. So we take multiple measurements in each section. Then we will average these out and come up with kind of a baseline reading for each of these 3 sections. We will demonstrate the material removal with 3 different detailing procedures. In this middle section, we are going to do a 3000 grit foam disc sanding procedure. Over here, we will do rotary application with a wool pad. And over here, we will do a DA application with a coarse compound. Now, the scenario that we're trying to replicate here is severe defects, so layers and layers of scratches, because this is a scenario that we would likely use these aggressive methods of paint correction. All right, before we take our readings on these 3 sections, is a very important thing for you to remember while we're doing this sort of procedure, is to let the paint cool down. We're going to wipe the areas with isopropyl alcohol because you could get false readings when you have a paint swelling situation. All right, now that we're cool and clean, we'll begin taking our measurements on each of these 3 sections. Just like we did before, we're taking these multiple readings on each section. Then we will average them out. So let's look at what we have here. What we can conclude by this demonstration is that multiple applications of compounding, whether it was DA or rotary, removed as much or more material than our 3000 grit sanding mark. A lot of detailers are actually using rotary with a tufted wool pad and aggressive compound on severe defects on a daily basis, and they may not be completely aware that this is removing a lot of material in that process. So although sanding represents in most people's minds the most aggressive paint correction procedure that we could possibly do, as we've demonstrated here, it is actually an effective defect removal procedure that does not remove a lot of material relative to alternatives. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Please like and subscribe to our channel. And please do comment, leave a question, because we may actually choose yours on the next Rupes Replies. I think. How are you with math?